Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Kiran Prabhuji, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji. Share my screen.
Uh, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada and all the devotees joined in this meeting. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्या उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we are reading chapter 22nd of Canto 4, Ritu Maharaj meeting with the four Kumaras. I am reading from slokas 33 to 43. For the human society, constantly thinking of how to earn money and apply it for the sense gratification brings about the destruction of everyone's interest. When one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into the spaces of life like those of trees and stones. Text 34. Those who strongly desire to cross the ocean of nescience must not associate with the modes of ignorance. For the hedonistic activities are the greatest obstructions to the realization of religious principles, economic development, regulated sense gratification, and at last liberation. Text 35. Out of the four principles, namely religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, liberation has to be taken very seriously. The other three are subject to destruction by the stringent laws of nature, death. Text 36. We accept as blessings different states of higher life, distinguishing them from lower states of life, but we should know that such distinctions exist only in relation to the interchange of the modes of the material nature. Actually, these states of life have no permanent existence, for all of them will be destroyed by the supreme controller. Text 37. Sanat Kumara advised the king, therefore, my dear King Prithu, try to understand the supreme personality of Godhead who is living within everyone's heart along with the individual soul in each and every body, either moving or not moving. The individual souls are fully covered by the gross material body and subtle body made of life, air, and intelligence. Text 38. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself as one with the cause and effect within his body, but one who has transcendented the illusory energy by deliberate consideration, which clears the misconception of a snake for a rope, can understand that the Paramatma is eternally transcendental to the material creation and situated in pure internal energy. Thus, the Lord is transcendental to all the material contamination. Unto him only must one surrender. Text 39. The devotees who are always engaged in the service of the toes of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome odd knotted desires for fruitive activities. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the waves of sense gratification, cannot do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Text 40. The ocean of neuroscience is very difficult to cross because it is infested with many dangerous sharks. Although those who have non-devotees undergo severe austerities and penances to cross that ocean, we recommend that you simply take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are like boats for crossing the ocean. Although ocean is difficult to cross, by taking shelter of his lotus feet, you will overcome all the dangers. Text 41. The great sage Maitreya continued, being thus enlightened in complete spiritual knowledge by the son of Brahma, one of the Kumaras, who was complete in spiritual knowledge, the king worshipped them in the following words. Text 42. The king said, O Brahmana, O powerful one, formerly Lord Vishnu showed me his causeless mercy, indicating that you would come to my house, and to confirm that blessing, you have all come. Text 43. My dear Brahmana, you have carried out the order thoroughly because you are also as compassionate as the Lord. It is my duty, therefore, to offer you something. But all I possess are but remnants of the food taken by great saintly persons. What shall I give you? I think text 43, I think today's last.
Ah, yes, Prabhu. That's the last one. Thank you so much, Karan Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. When are you ready, can start, Prabhu. Himanshu Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So my voice audible?
Ah, yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving an opportunity, and thanks, devotee, for assembling today to hear the nectar of Bhagavatam, to discuss Bhagavatam. Let me invoke the prayer. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshitarini Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji, for reading the verses today. Let me share my screen quickly. Is my screen visible, Prabhuji?
Ah, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So today we are going to read the fourth Canto 22nd chapter from section 33 to 43, where Prithu Maharaj is meeting with the four Kumaras. So basically, in this chapter, if we'll take a quick recap, like when Lord Vishnu came into the sacrificial ceremony, he already predicted like four Kumaras will appear, and then four Kumara appear into the in front of Prithu Maharaj. And then how we saw how Prithu Maharaj has welcomed by bowing down, washing their feet, and sprinkle the remaining water into their head. And that tells us like how we should welcome our Guru. Prithu Maharaj set an example for us, how to welcome our spiritual master and Acharya. He showed by the example. Then Prithu Maharaj asked two questions. How person whose aim is only sense gratification, basically being suffered with a mode of material nature, but he doesn't understand that he's suffering. He thinks he's enjoying. How can he be blessed by any good fortune? And then he asked another question, like, what is the ultimate goal of the human life in this material world? Then Sanat Kumar beautifully replied, then one has to fix his attachment to the Krishna Katha. And in that way, he can, cleanse the heart of his, cleanse the mirror of his heart. And then he said, like, detach from the bodily conception and realize original constitutional position. By how can he do that? He mentioned like by associating with the sadhu, bhajan kriya, and avoid the materialistic people, because while we should show the compassion towards materialistic people so that we can pray for their progress, so that they can also get the mercy of the Guru or Krishna, and they can also progress in future. And then he also mentioned like how one can develop a hankering for the Lord name and glory, following the rules and regulation, and develop the humility, tolerance, and avoid the devotees' aparadh. And then in the last few verses, it's talk about how sense gratification caused the destruction of self, and Krishna Venu Prabhuji beautifully explained, like in this material world, one is thinking about the sense gratification. And because of that, when the sense desire for sense object doesn't fulfill, then person's mind become agitated. And once the mind become agitated, the person lost the way to discriminate what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. And then when a discrimination power is lost, eventually memory and knowledge is lost, and which is very, it's a suicidal for the individual soul, this kind of thing. So in today's verse, we'll talk about like how sense gratification will lead one person to the lower stage of life, like animal life or, non-movable entities. Because in Kali Yuga, I'm talking to myself, when human beings are contemplating on the sense gratification for money, all six opulences, prestige, glory, fame, and then for achieving these glories or is these six opulences, one can cross any limit. They can follow a religion. They don't care about the dharma in that case. And because of that, they are devoid of the jnana and vijnana. Prabhupada explained very beautifully what is jnana. Jnana means understand one's constitutional position. Eternal, like the one is the eternal servant of the Lord. So, and what is vijnana? Prabhupada mentioned, like one apply that jnana as a practical application to realize that knowledge. The realization of that knowledge is vijnana. Like we are reading the Bhagavatam, we are taking the jnana, but when we are start living the Bhagavatam, that is called vijnana, that we are living the Krishna consciousness life. So basically, while following the jnana and vijnana, Prabhupada mentioned like one can one can switch his consciousness from sense objects to the serving the supreme senses. Supreme senses means Krishna's senses. He will, relishing the happiness in the Krishna's and Guru service and come out of the misconception of the body. But we know that unfortunate this Kali Yuga age, one is not at all interested in this knowledge, and so what we can talk about then Vijnana. They don't even care about the knowledge. They don't worry about the Shastra. Nobody want to go through the Shastra. I was seeing on YouTube video and I seen like there was a one question answer going on. So there are kids, they were asking, college kids, who is the Lord Ram, mother, father, and nobody was able to even answer those simple questions. So we can understand how degraded, because thought processes, because they are already engage in the material activity so much that they forget about even our Shastra. They don't know, they don't care, they don't bother about it. So Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, if one misuse a human form of life for serving his own senses, definitely we are moving towards in next life we will become the non-movable object, like a mountain, hill, plant, etc. And this is nothing but a Shunyavad, he mentioned, because we are merging to the zero, and become inert. If we become tree, what are we going to do? We will become inert. So Prabhupada condemned for sense gratification because it will lead to suicidal. And then he said, we need to realize this human form of life, our eternal position, and then serve the lotus feet of the Lord. Because this activity will obstruct our progress in that way. And if you look at the text 34, talk about how one can be detached, from the things that, how can we detach from the things that obstruct our Purushartha? So Purushartha means, Purush Artha means objective of the human life. What is objective of the human life? That's talk about. So those who are sincerely want to cross the, material ocean of birth, death, old age, and disease, they should not associate with those people who are under the mode of ignorance. Because a person who are in mode of ignorance, if you look at their symptom, they are lazy. They are always in the darkness. They want to remain, they sleep very late and, also sleep for long hours. They always will feel lazy, madness, and illusion. So, and their death destination will be, in the lower animal, life, or, hellish planets and all. So Sanat Kumara is talking that if one is serious about the liberation, so liberations means, going to the Vaikuntha planet, or, that's what it's meant here. So person in the ignorance cannot achieve it, because it's practically impossible for a person in the mode of ignorance. It may be possible for the mode of goodness, but not at all possible for a person who is always looking for sense gratification and doesn't care about our Shastra, and do not have any faith in Shastra and Guru. So he cannot achieve. So then one can question, like, why a person, a human being, is under the mode of ignorance? Because we are conditioned soul. A person is a conditioned soul, and we are the Tathashta Shakti of the Lord, and then we are under the mode of material nature, under the illusion of external energy of the Lord. Due to that, people are acting under these modes, and under their mode, whatever mode is prominent, they are behaving like that. And then Prabhupada explained in this verse that for earning the money right now, these days, people are following any irreligious principle, like to earn the money easily. Like there are different kind of things, like people are working in the butcher house, people are working in the nightclub, prostitution. All these are maybe very easy to earn money, but it's with irreligions. So if we understand, like, this world is, relationship with a give and take, because if you look even in a spiritual or material world, if we do the job, 8-hour job, what is our expectation? We give our services, the expectation is of money. If we talk about the relationship between a parent and child, so parent and child also give and take relationship. Parents want to serve the child when he's young, and when he become old, he wants child to serve him. And that is kind of an expectation, and mostly in India, what we see. Education, a person goes for college. In education, he has to pay the fees. And even in Upasana Kand, we know people, oh Lord Shivji, if I want to get a good marks, correct, so I will give 2 kg laddu, correct. All kind of those Upasana Kand people do that for getting their desired result, that they do that kind of thing. And in the spiritual life also, we serve our Guru because we want to get the mercy of the Guru and Krishna. It's a give and take relation, but we need to learn art of giving to come to the platform of the mode of goodness. Because in that, if we come to the mode of goodness, we will stop, that is a gate for us to start the devotional service. That can be our gate to start a devotional service. And if we, and then in that way, we will stop lording over to the material nature. So text 35 talk about the 4 principle, which is our Purusharth. We have four principle, which one is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So first, let's understand the general definition. What is Dharma? Dharma means righteousness, means moral value. What is the moral value? So if we look at the sugar, Dharma for sugar is sweet. But in the current age of life, nobody want to follow the Dharma, correct? They don't care about Dharma. That is all foolish things for them. So what is the real Dharma? Bhagavatam explained, Savai Pumsham Paro Dharma. Real Dharma is to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, unflinching, unmotivated, and uninterrupted devotional service onto the lotus feet of the Lord. That's where we can get the Ahituki Bhakti, correct? So, and then when we talk about Artha, what Artha means? Artha means earn money under the guidance of Dharma. But these days, people are earning the money, and in the cost of, someone lost, some immorality. They can earn money anyway. And they want to work, they want to earn money, and then they want to enjoy, the result of that money by doing the sense gratification. Eventually, if person will follow such kind of mentality, that enjoyment will eventually become the end of joy. Enjoy, end of joy, it will become. So there is an analogy between Artha and Dharma. So Artha means economic development or earning the money. So let's consider Artha as a food in your plate, and Dharma you consider as the taste of the food. When you will want to eat that food which is tasty, correct? So that means you want to earn a money with the religious principle. But nowadays in the material world, people are trying to eat the food without even taste, without following the religious principle. And if you kind of eat such kind of food, your enjoyment become end of joy very soon, eventually. That is what the materialist people, they don't care, but that is happening eventually. So even though if we have seen the example of person in material world, suppose he bought a house. The same house will give him the pleasure for certain period of time, but maybe down the line the same house become the object of misery for in his life, in later part of his time, after some time it happens. And then let's talk about the kama. Kama means focus on satisfying own senses, means lusty desire. But Prabhupada explained what is real kama. Real kama means focus on pleasing and satisfy the senses of the Lord. And moksha means fulfillment and fructification of Atma Dharma. So what is the importance of moksha? So why Prabhupada is saying we need to give more importance? One has to take it very sincerely, because other three purushartha will be destroyed by the end of this body, end of this life, but moksha will not. So because we know, like, if we have any bank balance, correct, that will go away. But bhakti yoga, bhakti account will, start from the same place where we left in this life. And as we know, pure devotee of the Lord even don't care about the liberation. Like we have 4 kind of liberation. But pure devotee of Lord want to serve the lotus feet of the Lord birth after birth. It doesn't matter in that case, liberation. Liberation is a very tuksha thing for devotee of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 4.9, it talk about, Bhagavan said, janma karma chame devyam evam yo veti tattvataha. So liberations means after giving up this body, Bhagavan is saying, nobody will take the birth again in this material world. He will come to my abode. So, and in text 36 talk about higher state and lower state of life. And all these higher state and lower status of life are temporary. There is a key word here, Isha vidvamsh ita ashisham, means Supreme Lord destroy all the blessings which are temporary in nature under this material world. So one person, when one person is under the bodily platform, he always interacts into those 3 modes of material nature. And in this 3 mode of material nature, if person has a previous piety, he will get a higher status of life, and he get the good education, he will get the richness, he will get the bodily beauty, because he has done a good piety in his previous birth. But if you talk about lower status of life, people might have not have done a good piety, then he is getting the ugly body, literature, he is illiterate, he is poor in living standard, and all those things. But what this verse is telling, what Sanat Kumara is telling and Prabhupada is explaining, that this higher status of life may be a blessing, which can be a temporary blessing, and lower status of life can be a curse, but which can be a temporary curse, but time will destroy all. So even life in a higher planetary system, we know, like Brahma, when the complete dissolution will happen, all 14 planetary system, whole universe will dissolve into the, and everyone, goes into the body of the, live into the body of the Mahavishnu. And partial annihilation, except the 4 top planet, everything will gonna get dissolved. A whole cosmic manifestation under the, I think, top 4 planets will remain there. So all these planets, whole cosmic manifestation is temporary. Then what to talk about this higher life, higher status of life, lower status of life? So very beautiful, and I think I would encourage devotees to read this if one get a chance. This verse 36. I will read out the verse. Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that Lord told Yudhishthir Maharaj that his special favor is shown to his devotee when he takes away all devotee material opulences. Generally, therefore, it is experienced that Vaishnava are not very opulent in this material sense. When a Vaishnava, pure devotee, try to be materially opulent, and at the same time desire to serve the Supreme Lord, his devotional service is checked, because both are, I would say, inverse proportional. They are not directly go together. They don't go gel together. So thus, devotee being frustrated in the repeated attempt at the economical development ultimately take solid shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. This kind of action may also be accepted as Isha vidvam ita ashisham, whereby the Lord destroys one material opulence, but enriches one in the spiritual understanding. But our unfortunate reality is our current population is living, all those material people except devotees, they are living the Ravana mentality because they are being puffed up for their sense gratification. And Ravana want to build the stairs for heaven. He want to kidnap the Sita for his enjoyment. And what happened? What happened with the time? Ravana got destroyed by the Lord Ram. Similarly, materialistic people, this materialistic mindset even can get destroyed. They will get destroyed because we are going to go into a suicidal attempt if we follow our own sense gratification, trying to lord it over the material nature. We'll look at the text 37, 38, talk about the context. Crux of 37 is understanding of the super soul, and 38 talk about surrendering to the super soul. We'll cover these two verses together. So first we need to understand what is super soul. So super soul and individual soul are the Lord's spiritual energy. So living entity is a living soul. Individual soul is a Tathashta Shakti, and which is under the influence of the external energy of the Lord, under the three modes of material nature. While super soul also reside within the body, Panchabhuta, already also reside within the body along with the individual soul, but it is out of the control of the Lord, external energy, Maya Shakti. So if one understands this truth, like that both the energy, like super soul and individual soul are Lord's energy, that such person is called the self-realized person. Because one is a predominator, another one is a predominant. One is a master, another one is a servant. We need to understand that way. So in Bhagavad Gita, we have heard, like, field of activity, Kshetra and Kshetra with knower of the body. So super soul and soul are the knower of the body, and our Panchabhuta is material body is a field of activity. And we always get a direction from the super soul Paramatma, always instructing the individual soul as a Chaitya Guru. And basically, Paramatma is instructing from within, and also in the form of Guru, Lord Krishna is instructing from externally as well. If we understand the instruction from our Chaitya Guru and our spiritual Guru, then one's life will be successful. That's what Prabhupada explained in the purport. And so we have an analogy here, like, two birds are sitting in the same branch of a tree. One bird is witnessing, another bird is acting. So acting bird is individual soul, and witnessing bird is a Paramatma in this case. So one should not waste his time into the economic development and sense gratification and the duties of this material world while following the path of liberation. One need to focus on following to the path of liberation. Why? Following the instruction of Guru and Supreme, by engaging into the service. And then text 38 about how to surrender to the super soul. If one want to attain the absolute truth in his life, then one must surrender to the super soul. The key word is prapadaye, means surrender. So we can't achieve this surrender to the lotus feet of Lord by artificial means. We can't develop the artificial vairagya. We can't develop by artificial mean, like, yogi, mystic yogi, or philosophical speculation of jnanis. We cannot approach to the absolute truth. We cannot surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by this means. Mayavadi conclude that one super soul and super soul, individual soul, they are impersonal Brahman. Their existence outside the impersonal Brahman, they merge into everything merge into the light, and everything goes into the Brahmajyoti. Their destination is Brahmajyoti, but they will remain inert, and then they will fall down because there is nothing to do there. But actually, and then they will always be under the illusion and delusion that they always consider rope in the form of snake, because there is no clarity of thought there, because their whole concept is completely wrong. Their whole philosophy is completely wrong. The ultimate philosophy is by executing the devotional service, one can attain the individual soul, can understand its real constitutional position as an eternal servant of the eternal master. Therefore, Vedas, Shastra, everyone is telling that Srimad Bhagavatam is telling devotional service is important rather than living entity follows the mental speculation or mystic power, mystic yoga, or any yogic power to understand absolute. It's impossible to do that. And then text 39 talk about Text 39 talk about how one can come out of the hard knot of the fruitive activity desire. And it is very impossible, it's near impossible for for Jnani and Karmi and Yogi to come out of the hard knotted of the fruitive desire of fruitive activity. Only one, because one cannot develop the, as we have heard in the Hari Parshad Prabhu class, that we cannot develop the artificial vairagya without being attached to the supreme taste. So suppose we are one person is very poor, he's living very poor life, and one day he got a lottery of $1 million, and then he started living the higher standard of life. Suppose we come also migrated from India to America to live our dream, and now if we ask us, okay, how your life, because we are living the good lifestyle here, and then when we go back to India, maybe it will be very struggle to live that life. Being a devotee, we may adjust, but as a materialistic person, think about it, it will be very difficult, because now he tastes the higher taste. When one person tastes the higher taste, then he may not like the degraded taste. So if one tries to perform with the artificial mean detachment, it may not last long. But when one person will get the higher taste of Krishna Bhakti, a higher taste of serving the lotus feet of the Guru and Krishna, then that higher taste will automatically, there is no need to do any kind of detachment, detachment will automatically take, because if there is an analogy given, when the tide comes into the ocean, then those tides, the wave, and then when that tide of the ocean goes merge into the river, then the tides of the river will not even come into act, because that overpower, that ocean tide, that those ocean of the waves of the ocean will overpower the waves of the river, and then we will not realize the waves of the river. So in that way, ocean of the wave of the ocean is considered is compared to the bhakti, devotional service of the bhakta, and the tides and waves of the river is considered as a material happiness under the sense object or sense gratification, sense gratification. So sense gratification is definitely, it's a material object, which will be diminished. That nature of the individual soul will get diminished once he will experience the higher taste of the bhakti of the Supreme Personality of Lordhead. And it's mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, one who is engaged in the loving devotional service of Krishna can easily stop the wave of material desire. As long as one continues to try to artificially stop, it's not possible. Text 40 talk about how one can, the ocean of this knee signs of birth, death, old age, disease is very difficult to cross, because even one is a very good swimmer, correct? But if he is trying to cross one river which is full of shark, it's very dangerous to cross that river, and he may die with his attempt to cross the river with this. But if one take the boat of the lotus feet of the Krishna or Guru, then he can easily cross. If the Guru is the captain of that boat, he will easily cross even that lake or that river without any problem. Even that lake or river is full of material disturbance, because he will follow the guidance of the Guru, and under that guidance, he will follow the Krishna consciousness. And in that way, he's easily follow all those ocean of material need signs. So text 41 talk about then the great sage Maitreya Muni continued, and being thus enlightened by the Sanat Kumara, Prithu Maharaj praised Sanat Kumara. He said, in text 42, Prithu Maharaj glorified for Kumara. Because Lord Vishnu has predicted that, for Kumara will give him the darshan. And then for Kumara came. And they fulfill the prediction of the Lord. So when Lord Vishnu, when Lord makes any kind of prediction, and that prediction will be fulfilled by his devotee. We have seen the example, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted, the name of Hari will be spreaded in every nook and corner. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like all our six Goswami, our all Guru Parampara, Lord has sent those elevated souls to spread the mission of the Krishna consciousness. Lord has sent the Prabhupada, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Swami Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and all our Guru Acharya. And that's how this now we have that many Krishna consciousness temple. And then Bhagavad Gita is one of the most distributed book across, correct? So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna said, Kaunteya parijanati name bhaktya pranashyati. Like even when Lord declare something, then it will be fulfilled by the devotee. And if anything devotee declare, definitely Lord fulfill that devotee desire. So in both the way, because Lord loves his devotee and he's a little partial to his devotee. And Lord is always compassionate for his devotees. So Lord always fulfill so that's why Lord asked Arjuna to declare that Lord devotee will be whenever who take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord will take care of it. And Lord, that's why he's asking Arjuna to promise here. So we have seen, like, when Bhakta Prahlad was under the, severe distress, Lord Narsimha appeared. And we have an example of Lord Krishna appearance to claim the fallen soul. We have example, Buddha appear. Lord sent his Parshad. Buddha appear for safety of animal. Correct? So Srila Prabhupada appear for welfare of everyone, all of material fallen souls, all of us. So in text 43, not Prithu Maharaj is asking, what should he offer? What can he offer to the four Kumara? Because whatever he possesses is all material wealth, his kingdom, because he came because he got birth from the grace of the sages, great sages like Bhrigu Muni. He churned the body of the king Vena, and at that time he appeared, and then all the kingdom, everything, all opulences, what he has, it's just remnants of the offering, because it's the mercy of the great sages. That's how he received all those things. So sometime Prabhupada has given an analogy: the father gives remnants of his food to the kids, correct? And then father, although the same food cannot be offered back to the father because that is already chewed by him. So similarly, all those opulences what he received with the mercy of the great sage Bhrigu Muni and other great sages, correct? So he cannot offer the same kingdom, money, wealth to the four Kumara because they are saintly people. So that's why he's puzzled what he should offer. And in the next verse we'll hear tomorrow, like he eventually offered everything, his wealth, his wife, his kids, and himself. He surrendered to them, to all the four Kumaras. So we will hear next other activities of Prithu Maharaj, how he offered the prayers to the Sanat Kumaras and other three Kumaras. I would like to pause here. Thanks for Prabhuji giving me an opportunity. And if I have mistaken anything, please forgive me for my mistake. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Over to you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Himanshu.